Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary friends of all denominations, and welcome to this, the very first Indiethon. I am the Thedmpanda, and alongside me is my very good friend Nick.
Yep. We'd like to welcome you all to Indiethon. So this is a charity event. We're going to be supporting Child's Play, and we're going to be running a bunch of indie games throughout the weekend. So make sure you check out our schedule. You can find it at schedule.indiethon.live. We thought Oyengus was going to be down by now, but apparently they fixed it. So yay! We also have a Horario schedule if you need that. Do you want to say something about the charity?
Yeah, we are raising money for Child's Play. They are a charity based in the US that raise money to provide children in hospital with game equipment, and also I believe it's domestic violence centres as well. Nick, is that correct?
Yeah. So they have like these games kit. It's spelled GAEMS. So we're not the only bad spellers out here. They've been doing this since 2015. They pretty much send like an Xbox One loaded with games, and according to their website, it helps children who have survived domestic violence to forget and to help them get better. So
Yeah, and we also have been given some games packs as prizes by our two amazing sponsors, Team 17 and Chucklefish. Um, they are, as I scramble to find stuff, you can win a copy of Starbound for $2.50. For $5, it's a copy of Inmost or Starbound. $10, a copy of Wargroove or Pathway. $20, you can win the entire Chucklefish pack that we've been given, Inmost, Starbound, Wargroove, and Pathway. And then $30, the grand prize, which is Blasphemous, Greek, Memories of Zur, Nata Boy, Neon Abyss, and Ukulele and the Impossible Layer.
yeah, we've got some pretty good game packs lined up, and we also have a pretty good schedule lined up with some very nice incentives. So we're gonna go through that right now. Just pick out some of our favorite games that you guys should check out.
I think that was.
Right up next, we
Oh,
have Your Everyday Speedrunner with new Super Lucky's Tale. That's gonna be our opening run. That's sure to be amazing. We have double on commentary. It's something you don't want to miss. Just like right after this.
yeah, probably the big one for me not to miss, and I'm going to have to miss it 'cause I need to sleep, is the bingo that we have going. The Hollow Knight item randomizer bingo.
Yeah, that's gonna be at 5:14 p.m. Eastern, or 11:14 p.m. UTC if I can get my time conversion right. It's a item randomizer 1v1 bingo walkout. It's our only bingo in the marathon, and I'm sure it's one that you guys don't want to miss. It should be a very good run to watch. What else? We also have some game blocks. We have 8-bit block, which is going to be coming up pretty soon. We have the meme block. We have the L game block. So the 8-bit block is starting from a telelocation Gemini all the way to the Messenger. It's pretty much 8-bit games, as the name implies. And that's going to be starting at 12 p.m. Eastern, which is in about 2 hours after our first two runs. And then we have the meme block, which is going to be pretty much a RIP WSB in Sparking Mikaka 1 with Stick It to the Man, Flipping Death, and Struggling. That's just some meme games, as the name implies. And that's at it's 8:45 p.m. Eastern, so about later tonight, maybe a little late for our European folks. And then we have the L Games block, which is after the Stardew Valley run, and that's Lettuce Inception, Littlewood, and Levelhead. Those are the 3 L games that we have in the schedule, and we put them all in one block because we'd like to be Mimi here at Indiethon.
And it worked, so why not? And we do have a couple of incentives. The first one coming up in just under 2 hours is to upgrade Telelocation Gemini to 100% co-op instead of any percent co-op for just $25.
Yeah, I mean, start getting your donations, and we have some pretty good bid wars. We have some pretty good incentives coming up. I think one of our favorite incentives, I think Panic can agree, is we have a world's first 80% task of an Untitled Goose Game coming up tomorrow at about noontime Eastern.
Yeah, we haven't even seen this, so it is definitely not to be missed. Is
I
one
mean,
of the things I want
me
to
and
see
Panda
the
are
most.
dying to see this, but you have to reach $75 for that incentive. But I think we can hit it. I think everyone wants to see a task run of Untitled Goose Game. No one's ever seen it before. It should be amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with that, I think it's time to pass it over to our first run.
Yeah, right on schedule as we planned. Yeah, so let's pass it over to your everyday speedrunner. If you new super lucky still, so yeah, take it away. I think I know. Yeah, because I messed up the other monitoring. It's my fault.
Alright, I'll just sit here and wait until we can continue.
Yeah.
Will the audio automatically drop by
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, well, alright, I'll jump in. We have got other.
Do you want me to start over the run entirely, or are we gonna do this? Just continue and pretend nothing happened?
I think it's best to just restart because people couldn't hear us do the intro stuff either.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta start over because everyone didn't hear anything. So,
Alright.
first tech issue, everyone. Marathon's going well so far.
I'll have to redo the save file real quick, so that's not gonna take much time.
Well, in this little bit of time, can I just shout out 2 donations that have come in?
Yeah, sure, go for it. We'll redo the intro after the donations.
Yep. We've had $10 from Jason Vader. Good luck to all the runners playing some amazing games for an amazing cause. And that goes to Telecommunication Gemini upgrade towards the Lightbearer DLC for We Happy Few. Yes, you can put $10 towards 2 different things in this marathon. And we've had $3.33 from Charles saying, "Today's the day. Greetings from the Worm Armageddon community." And that goes to the Untitled Goose Tass and the Thespian choice for Worms Armageddon. Are we ready now, chaps?
I'm as ready as I'll be.
Alright,
Yes,
take it
thank
away,
you.
guys.
Yeah, thank you, Panda. Thank you for the donations as well. So yeah, this is New Super Lucky, still a 3D platformer. And normally it starts off by having a 3.5 minute unskippable cutscene, except because we're playing on PC, we have a save file prepped at the point exactly when that intro cutscene ends. So yeah, what we do on PC is we use that save file and then start the timer at 2:46.90, which is what the community has worked out.
Alright. Can you calm me down again so we can pretend nothing happened?
Yeah, okay, so let's actually get Indiethon underway in 3, 2, 1, go!
Alright, thank you, Double. Yes, this is New Super Lucky Tale. A 3D platformer. It also has 2D levels. 2D levels are fast, so we're gonna do it, and we're gonna see those most. First up, we're gonna get a little introduction cutscene to well, this stage. It shows a gate that we have to open. It shows enemies. We're not gonna open that gate. We can jump right over through bonk hopping. Double, would you care to explain bonk hopping?
Ooh boy, bonk hopping. It's the main movement tech that we use to skip everything. By bonking into a wall and swiping your tail and jumping, you can just basically repeat that sequence of inputs to just regain and be able to do it again. And you can scale any wall in the game infinitely. It's fun to mess around with the casual play too, to see where the skyboxes are. But yeah.
Yes, it works as you saw right there. Right now we're gonna get a little introduction to Master Mittens, who just decapitated someone. Don't pay attention to that. I'm gonna mash through his dialogue. We have a little bit of movement freedom here until we get through into the next sort of cutscene. Sometimes you will see me jump right after mashing through cutscenes because I'm mashing.
Yeah.
So, would you care to explain the routing we'll do for, you know, the pages we need?
Okay, so this game, the progression in this game is each to fight the boss at the end of the world. You need a specific number of pages from that world specifically. The game starts you off automatically in Heavy Heads, the first stage in Sky Castle, and yeah, to get the Sky Castle boss, we need 8 pages.
Yes, 8.
And Heavy Heads is an example of a main stage, a main level where there's 4 different types of pages you can collect. There's the main page for beating the stage itself, and as you saw just there, he picked up the letter K. So there's 5 letters in the stage as well. Think of Tony Hawk's Underground with the letters S-K-A-E-T-E. In this game we have L-U-C-K-Y, which spells out lucky. So that is another one of the pages. Then there's the secret page, which is a hidden page where you complete a special hidden objective and you get a page for it. And then lastly there's the coin page, which is similar to your 100 coin stars in Mario games, except in this game you need 300 coins to get it, rather than 100. So, as per our routing, the routing is generally based on play as few stages as possible as far as any percent is concerned. So we're going to be doing 2 stages where we get all 4 of the pages. So, you know, there's a little mix of we 100% to any percent basically. So yeah, this orb that he's carrying right now is what is going to open up the door to the secret area where the secret page is located. And yeah, you use the cooldown, like the little timer before the cutscene will kick in to grab the letter U. So yeah, this special area is beat a bunch of enemies and then the way will open up to the end. And yeah, Lucky's main move is he can jump, he can swipe his tail, which helps you also manage your vertical position in midair. And there's the dive, and the dive is the absolute most important because you might have noticed that on the ground, Lucky is constantly burrowed in the ground or sliding on the floor if it's a hard surface you can't burrow on. Both of those movements are faster than normal running. And yeah, here you can see the despawn glitch. Sometimes things don't load correctly, so you have to walk certain ways to make it spawn back in. This is a thing that just regularly happens on heavy heads specifically. But yeah, we get 100% of the pages here because the game forces you into heavy heads at the start. But after this, we'll be thrusted into the hub worlds from where we can select the stages ourselves. And yeah, that is heavy heads 100%. Got the secret page, got all the lucky letters.
Yes, and
there's the
one thing that will happen as soon as this level is done. With certain levels, it's faster to Alt F4 out of the game and restart the game than to wait for the post-game cutscene to play and whatever. Right there. Now the game is shut down. I put a little thing for you guys there.
Yeah. So specifically after Heavy Heads, there's this cutscene with Master Mittens, the villain that got introduced earlier. And yeah, that takes a long time. So it's faster to quit out the game, launch it back up, and then continue, and then it puts you here. And you can see in the top right, he has 422 pages. So the pages count.
That's the most important part. The pages do count. But it's not always faster to alt out because reasons.
There's some weird things that happen when you alt out of stages, specifically in regards to the boss door. You can break the boss door and bad things can happen. Now, here we've got Dungeon Run. Yes, I can hold the stick. Yeah. Yes, I can hold the stick whichever way he wants or not at all because this is what we call an auto runner. Lucky is automatically running forward, and that would make you think that this is an auto-scroller, but that's actually not true, because we can still use the dive, because one property of the dive that I haven't explained yet is the homing aspect to it. If there's an enemy or a platform, you can use your homing dive, or you can use the dive move that Lucky has, and it will home in on platforms and enemies. And yeah, we pick the auto runners because they are the fastest to do extra pages in along with the main page because it's a set path you're going on anyway. So we basically just do this stage proper and then pick up the extra things along the way and take very little extra time to get 3 additional pages.
But right now, we're gonna get our first boss fight. Yes, I did not alt out there. It's faster to just let this cutscene play out.
Yeah. Also because of where you are, because if you alt out and then go back in, you are put in the regular starting spot of the hub world, which is where you saw Yeser be after the first alt, and that's considerably further back than the exit of Dungeon Run here. So now you get this cutscene telling you about the door, and then immediately the cutscene starts for opening the door because we have enough pages already. Oh yeah, mainly the cutscenes that you just saw after we exit the Dungeon Run is what you would skip with an alt. And it's on a case-by-case basis whether it's faster to do so or not, mostly because of where you get put in the hub world when you load back in. So here we have the Master Mittens boss fight. It's a pretty straightforward fight. it's yeah, there's not really any variables or randomness into it. A little bit, but mostly not. This first phase is the exact same every time. The golems always spawn in the same place, and yeah, the fastest way is to just hit everything immediately as it spawns. Technically, a little fun thing you can do is knock the golem heads into the others if there's multiple around. But yeah, that doesn't save any time. There's no time save to gain from that. And yeah, we can use bonk hopping here to get on top of the skybox of this object and just enjoy the fireballs that are getting thrown at you. The only thing you have to be careful of if you do this is jump off in time, because your jump kind of gets eaten if you jump off while it goes down, and you can fall off and lose a heart and potentially a little bit of time. Because this is where the speed stuff comes into play. It's just hit the golem back at mittens as fast as possible. And yeah, here you have this fireball phase where you can just completely duck under if you want to, or there's a couple places where you can just stand and the fireballs will bounce over you. And then yeah, here we have 3 golem heads. The second hit was 2, and now it's 3, and that's the end of the game. Now, that was a little bit weird, wasn't it? So if you go up to Mittens and tail swipe him during his defeat animation, you actually speed it up. It's like a half-second time save that you can just freely go for. And that's the end of World 1. That is the end of Sky Castle. Now, not every world is going to be this short, because we're moving on to World 2 Veggie Village, which is the most recent heavy point of the run, because of the stages we do. Good old Piggy Peril and Ripe Rollers, or as we call it, Rip Rollers.
But first, introduction to the next bad guy, or bad girl in this instance. Tess.
Yeah, exactly. So the story for this game is Lucky right now is stuck in a magical object called the Book of Ages. That's where these worlds are basically located in. And there's an evil cat magician called Jinx who is trying to get the Book of Ages to get ultimate power, yada yada yada. Yeah, in the fight against Jinx, the pages of the Book of Ages got torn and sent in, and Lucky got sent into the world. And all kinds of shenanigans happened.
Yeah, right now we're in our first sub-level. We need to collect all the coins, kind of like Pac-Man.
It's Pac-Man meets Super Monkey Ball, because you're in a ball rolling around the stage and you're tilting the level.
Yeah, there's not much we can do to make it go much faster. Try to get
yeah,
the
this is
lines, but...
Yeah, but you might be wondering why we would do this. Why don't we just do 2 main stages again to get the 8 pages we need? Well, that's the thing. We need more than 8 pages. We need 10 to be precise for Veggie Village here. So how we go about this routing wise is we do 2 main stages, just like in Sky Castle, and then we do 2 bonus stages like this where you can get just a single extra page. And yeah, because it's close to the start, Yester's gonna ult here. Because of the starting position is nice and close to the first main stage we're going to be going into, Piggy Peril.
Yes, and for those wondering how I can mash fast, I have both A and B to the same bound to the same button. So I can just roll my fingers over it and mash a little faster.
Which is allowed, by the way. You're allowed to map multiple buttons to the same thing. The only thing you're not allowed to do is map a single button to multiple actions. So here we have conveyor belts, and conveyor belts are going to take a lot of advantage of the sliding, which is what Lucky does if you try to burrow on a surface where you can't burrow. Now here's a little bit of a skip.
And die here.
Yeah. So this is an example of a 2D stage and not an auto runner like we had before. And yeah, you can you're meant to hit a switch that raises the platform with the secret page, but you can just go under it, grab the secret page, and then fall off to respawn at the checkpoint. It does mean that this section, it does mean that this section has to be done carefully, this is a time challenge. A bunch of colored coins will spawn, and you have to get them all within the time limit to get the reward. We do this one because it has the C. There's a different kinds of rewards you can get for them. It's...
It ate my jump, it ate my jump, it ate my jump.
But yeah, power of bunk hopping. Saved. And yeah, when you get to a checkpoint, you
gain all your health.
You get all your health back. You have 3 hits you can take.
Now, so that little mess up did throw me off the cycle, because this level is cycle based. This area has a little skip. We don't have to go all the way around to just... There we go.
Nope. Indeed, you can actually dive and use Lucky's homing property of homing into certain objects and objects like platforms. And you can just dive into the foreground and grab the Y instead of doing a bunch of foreground background going back and forth. Now this wall that you dive on, you hit the switch to dive under, you don't actually have to do it. You can bunk hop over, except it's slower because of the length of the wall. So it's still faster to do that the intended way of hitting the switch and going under. Yeah, something that we also something to also mention is that this is new Super Lucky Steal. This is a remake of Super Lucky Steal, which was originally released on PC and Xbox One in 2015, and then this remake came out in 2018. I want to say.
Actually.
Now, I remember running it for BSG Annual 2019, so it's before that, because it came out after August.
It first got released on Nintendo Switch only and came to other platforms a little later.
Right, yeah, that's what it was. It came out, yeah, it initially came out, was a Switch exclusive, and then later on it was released on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And because of the whole backwards compatibility thing, you can also play this on PlayStation 5 or the Xbox One X. Well, yeah, the Xbox Series X, I mean. So yeah, here we have another 2D stage.
This stage is more difficult and tighter on cycles than it looks. I may
oh yeah, for sure.
There's a skip on later that if I don't get it, it costs me like a minute or so.
Oh yeah, auto-scroller skip.
Yeah.
Like, or skip what is intended to be an auto-scroller. And yeah, diving into the water to like respawn back here, it's actually kind of tricky because the homing property kind of makes you go for the platforms when you, in this case, you don't want to. So you have to like be pretty precise with your.
Yeah, and I'm a little behind on coins, so I'm gonna grab a safety coin. The big coins are worth 10, the small coins are worth 1, the small diamonds are worth 25, the big diamonds are worth 50.
Exactly. Nice little ladder skip. Catch the ladder as it comes up so you get shoved up really fast.
Alright, I should be good on coins.
Yeah. So yeah, Yes is waiting here for safety basically. And because of how the cycles lined up, if the big spiky ball was closer to him, he could have damage boosted through it because as a thing that I should be explaining is happening.
That works as well. Yeah, I was meant to grab
you need
the
to go
diamond
there to
way
trigger the
around.
end, but yeah, the if you dive into anything that damages you in midair, you keep your momentum, and you can do that to damage boost through the big spike balls, only taking 1 damage. So you might be wondering how he was basically able to tailspin and jump on thin air. It's a little finicky and hard to explain, but basically
Black magic.
by swiping your tail, by picking up the coins, the big coins, by swiping your tail, you basically get your mid-air jump back. There's an insanely hard skip in the final world that you can do with that.
Which I will attempt only once.
Yeah. I think the name that Mooshpaw came up for it was object jumping, I think?
I think that specific skip is called frog skip because you use a frog. But it's
yeah, exactly. So here we have the second ball maze. Again, this is the fastest way to get the 2 extra pages that we need to total up to 10.
The little thing that just happened is if you hit 2 bumpers at the same time, you get both the speed boosts.
Oh yeah, the fast bumper.
Yeah, it's
Fast bumper is cool.
It is consistent, but it's really finicky.
Yeah, because it's pretty. You can imagine it's pretty precise to hit the exact spot where you were touching them both at the same time. But yeah, that is page number 10. That will open up the boss fight against Tess here. So to get back on the story here, to retrieve the Book of Ages and to try and get all the pages and everything, Jinx sent his children, known as the kitty litter, after them.
They're his children?
Yeah, they are his children.
Oh boy, I just thought it was just a band of misfits. It's been a while since I've played through this game for the story.
They're his kids. They're his kids.
That makes everything.
No, it's the kitty litter because that's what you call a group. That's what you call a group of baby cats. It's fairly on the nose. Speaking of on the nose, that's what this boss fight also is. It's
basically an auto-scroller.
More or less. There's components that you'll see in the first phase, and the second phase is just small twists on them. It's a fairly standard boss fight here.
So if the host has anything to share, please do.
So I do a few things I want to talk about. First of all, we are raising money for Child's Play. Since 2003, Child's Play has partnered with Children's Hospital all across the globe to provide toys, games and technology to help improve hospital children's lives. Partner hospitals also receive an annual gift designated to support their child-like department through equipment maintenance and research. And a little bit of an update on Target and Bid Wars. Telecommunication Gemini is at $11 out of 25 and Fez is at $10 out of 30, which we have just had a donation coming for from WDN 2010. Viva la Indiethon. Hope everyone had a good night's sleep before the marathon. I did. I'm not too sure about Nick.
I didn't, actually.
I kinda did. I woke up early enough, I just didn't sleep. I just went to bed kinda late last night. Anyway, boss fight's almost over. Here we are hitting the switches again. We position ourselves in a place to just basically route out the hitting of the switches and make this boss fight as short as possible. Now there's a small speed thing you can do here by jumping off. You can basically cut the defeat animation short, similar to Mittens, by falling off and as the cannons are about to lower, or the cannons, the switch pillars. And yeah, that's the end of World 2. Veggie Village, I almost forgot the name. And we're on to World 3, and for people that are familiar with the original Super Lucky Still, you might not recognize the name. If I remember correctly, in the original game this was called Holiday Canyon. Here in New Super Lucky Still it is called Restful Retreat. It has the same villains of the kitty litter though, General Buttons and Lieutenant Fluff and stuff. There we go, remembered it. I mean, there will be a splash screen to show it in a minute anyway.
Yes, it's the more comedic boss fight, if you ask me. But its boss fight is actually fast. It has a speed strat.
Oh yeah, this was one of the absolute longest auto scrollers in the entire game. Probably the longest until we found a way to break it. But so yeah.
Now we're gonna get into a puzzle.
We'll get into that later, but yeah, now we get a puzzle, except we're not gonna do the puzzle.
Yeah, it's important right now that we do not hit the ground, since hitting the ground triggers a cutscene of the puzzle actually appearing, and I think his name is Flint, saying something about the puzzle.
Yeah, that's some dialogue, and the puzzle during the dialogue you can't move, and then once you can move again, the puzzle will appear.
Doesn't matter. I think.
I mean, you're pretty close to the ladder as it is.
Yeah, I don't think alting out there saves too much time.
The ladder
Ladder
match of the
match
mind.
of
So
the mind.
this is an incredibly vertical stage. So bonk hopping is going to be very valuable here, but yeah, it also runs on a lot of cycles that you want to make.
And a lot of switches to make platforms appear and disappear. There's a ladder
Like the
right there.
in-between bear box that hides the U in there.
We don't need to hit this lever since we skipped another one, so...
Yep, and also a thing is that Lucky's tail swipe has a pretty massive hitbox, so we use it a lot of the time to grab things instead of going over to physically collect them. Now here we go to the secret area where the secret page is hidden. So yeah, we had this time challenge earlier to get the C in ripe rollers, and yeah, in this one we have a timer challenge that gives you the secret page, or hidden page as the game calls it.
Ah, secret, hidden, what's that?
Synonyms. Yeah, C is over there. So yeah, same deal as before. 2D main stage where we collect everything. Okay, here collect all the coins to make the K appear. Which works out because the coin route for this is actually very tight. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
you need to
coins we
get all
skip
these
because they're
coins
out of the
here.
way.
I'll grab this one for a little bit of safety. And I got my coins a little earlier. That's nice. Go. That was the wrong button.
Yeah, not quite the way you wanted to dive.
Nah, my finger slipped, so I missed this cycle. But we can just stand on this. Oh. Stand on this. There we go.
Yeah, don't die at the end. That's kind of bad. And yeah, there's the made it all the way up here, and now we have the final page.
Now let's not forget to alt out. Double check I've got everything. Yeah. It has happened before that I missed either a ladder or a couple of coins or the entire hidden page.
Oh yeah, I've been there. I've forgotten pages before.
Still not as bad as dying on a boss fight. Because if...
I've done that before too.
Oh, I've done that as well. Happened during
It's a
practice like yesterday.
It's one of the rites of passage. You're not a true runner unless you've died in as many ways as possible.
Yeah, right here. This,
There is another puzzle that we skip entirely.
Yeah, I tried to die before I hit the top of the wall, so I get a slide animation. It goes a little bit faster. Alt out of this one as well.
Yeah, because you dive onto the top of the wall and then you go into a slide, which, as we explained, is faster than the normal running speed. On top of that, yeah, by landing on the little railing at the start, that doesn't trigger the dialogue that we mentioned earlier on the puzzle. It's
Don't
only
worry,
when you land
the
on the actual
next world
ground.
will show more than enough of that. But now we got another auto runner. So look, Ma, no hand. Oh wait, I still have to mash through cutscene. Oops.
Oh, that's fine. I forget to do that too. We forget a lot of things as we play this game.
The small things are always the ones you forget. And this this stage also has a very tight coin route.
Oh,
And
yeah,
you can't
exactly.
slide up something. You can slide downwards, but not upwards.
Well,
we
you can, but it's slow and it turns you around. Like you slow down until you actually turn around. It's the only way to like go slower by sliding on upwards things.
Make sure to
Yeah,
hit
here's the hidden
all
page. If you
buttons.
miss that switch, then you're out of luck.
E.
Exactly. And hit this switch to reveal the K. You can't damage boost through through that one if you miss it. So
And the good thing is, these switches are pretty finicky, especially these last ones.
Yeah, in fact, you don't want to like slide or anything because you're gonna be misaligned and miss things. And yeah, that's the exact point, right, that we'll get. You get a 30, a thing worth 30 at the end and get like 327 or something, so...
Yeah, the big diamond at the end makes you go over 300, else you're stuck at like 270-ish.
Yeah, exactly. So, the game does the walking for you, but that doesn't necessarily make things easier.
Now we get all the coins, or all the pages in one big go. The mailman kind of glitches out.
Yeah, see, this was the thing that we mentioned earlier about how, you know, how alting out can do weird things. So yeah, it doesn't count down the clovers on the door until you don't alt out, and then it counts them all at once. And we've timed it. It actually is the same speed regardless of how many you get. It's just the countdown is faster when there's more pages to make it the same length every time. Now, we've been hyping up this boss fight for being incredibly broken, and here it is.
Incredibly broken for this game standards. Because this game is surprisingly
it can always
solid.
be more broken.
Besides
Yeah,
bonk
like
hopping.
there's bonk hopping, but outside of that, you know, you don't fall through the floor at random times. The game doesn't crash at random moments, like not often anyway.
I haven't had it crash on me yet.
Me neither, and I've been running this game for like a few years.
Alright, so what I'm gonna do...
It actually runs unlike Cyberpunk.
More or less, yeah. So the first thing we do is we bonk up over to the ship to stand on this cannon and just have, you know, Fluff and stuff do his thing over there.
I just need to wait out this this cycle, and if we do everything well, we'll skip a cycle.
Yeah, the only sad thing about that is we don't get to see Lucky Smells.
Maybe if I mess it up enough, or the game just decides to say like, yeah, screw you.
Ooh, man!
Incentive
ID for the future.
Lucky Smells. Just that's the entire incentive. Lucky Smells.
Yeah, just don't explain anything. Just have it be Lucky Smells and that's it.
All right, you heard it here, guys. Next time at Indiethon. All right, now I'm mashing swipe. There we go. Because okay. There we go. That bomb should have.
You mash swipe and then you hit him with a second bomb. You're not supposed to do that.
Normally the bombs despawn after you get one hit. Right here, I'm keeping myself in this position because the enemies. We do need to kill all of them. And I can't really... Alright, that should be all of them. Oh, look at that. We are gonna see Lucky Smells.
Oh yeah, only upside down.
So the game just decided to screw me over. Yeah, that's fine, because that bomb we hit back also collided in the air with another bomb. So that made it kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, there's also, if I remember correctly, it's that you need to specifically kill the last bomb cat with its own bomb, which I don't know if you did that or not.
No, I always just swipe them. It works 90% of the time.
Okay. It was my understanding that was mandatory, but hey, we don't understand this skip perfectly anyway, so. But yeah, when you saw the Lucky Smells fireballs come out, it should have been the fireballs that come out on phase 3, and there you go, there's your phase skip. But
we're gonna see that now. Sometimes the game just doesn't want to cooperate. Marathon, like I suppose. Now we get a close up.
More
of
or
Lucky.
less, yeah.
He's standing inside a cannon.
Yeah, it gets somewhat bullet hell, but it's kind of slow. Well, you know, there's a lot of fire over there.
It's green fire as well, so you know it's extra dangerous.
Yes, forget yellow, forget yellow and blue fire. Green fire is where it's at.
Well, that was the boss fight. We're gonna mash through a little.
You can see them. Yeah, you can see them in the background, covered in mud.
I think it's Tar.
Their ship's connected to. It is Tar, yeah.
The ship sank. And they do actually come back in a later level, but we're not gonna play that level. But they do actually come back.
We used to do 3 in cannon salute, but not anymore.
No, right now we do 6 puzzles, because this stage, this hub world only needs 6 pages. We used to grab 2 sub-levels and 1 level entirely, or 1 main level. Now we're just gonna do the 6 sub-levels, and with a little bit of luck, we're gonna see a glitch. But we'll only know that once we completed the second puzzle.
Yeah. So the way the game builds the stages for each world, it puts 6 bonus stages in where you can get a single page, and then the rest is main stages where you can get 4 pages each. The first 3 worlds all had 6 bonus stages for 6 puzzles, 6 pages, and then the other 16 were from main stages, so 4 main stages, except Gilly Island, which in the original Super Lucky Stale was post-game DLC. It's been worked into the main story in this remake. And because of that, it has 1 main stage less, and as a result, this world in total has 4 pages less. So to compensate for that, they made the page requirement for this world lower. They lowered it to 6.
I forgot this. This was originally DLC for the original game. I haven't played an original game in a long time.
Yeah, there's also Foxington, which in this game is also post-game, but yeah, both Gilly Island and Foxington were extra paid DLC that you could get for Super Lucky Stale, and in new they're just in the game by default. And yeah, Gilly Island is part of the main story now, but Foxington is still
going to see
post-game stuff.
Did we get the glitch? Nope, we don't. That's a shame. There's a glitch. I don't know if anyone knows how it works, but it skips the like the page turn in, like the counter going down cutscene. For some reason it happens in this world, but not always.
Yeah, so this is a pretty chill part of the run. You just kind of vibe as you just bonk up your way through these puzzle stages. Now, something I want to mention, a funny thing that can happen is if you grab the page and land on the ground on the same frame, the dialogue plays during the page get cutscene. I've had it happen to me a couple times.
I think I've seen it once during practice, but I'm not 100% sure. I've seen a lot of weird things in this game. It doesn't really do anything.
It's yeah, the cutscene still plays and everything, but
yeah, nothing much happens here. Actually, we have 2 more pages to grab. Then we'll go into the boss fight, which can actually be very annoying.
yes, because this boss fight is the only place in the game where you can instantly die.
Besides, actually, yeah, that's the only place I can think of where we have instant death.
Yeah, in the original game you would instantly die if you fell in a pit. In this game, they toned it down. You just take a hit and get sent back to the checkpoint, unless you're of course on 1 hit, then it kills you. You know, because you take damage. But yeah, in original, falling into any pit, including the overworld, would kill you and subtract a life.
Now you can just jump into pits in the overworld, doesn't do anything.
No, it basically does the same thing. It respawns you back, but it doesn't kill you and take a life.
Yeah, there's for some reason a death plane in the next boss, and you can accidentally hit it.
Yeah, there's a weird instant death plane that you can hit during a specific phase of the boss. If you bonk up too high while that phase is going on, you just instantly die regardless of how much health you have.
You can easily skip it by not bonk hopping, but sometimes you have to. If RNG is not in your favor, or you're not paying enough attention. But you know, those were all the puzzles we're gonna actually do for this run. We're not gonna see any more puzzles. As I mash through this dialogue. Yeah, that normally happens when you complete all the puzzles in a world or all the sub-levels. Foreman Flint will say something like, yeah, you did it.
Positive reinforcement.
Positive reinforcement. Yeah, something you may have missed during loading screens is that the mailman golem gives you hints or tells you things. It's pretty cute, if you ask me.
Yeah, and there's a fun thing. There is one single update that this game has had about a month after the game was first out on Switch, where the load times were improved. And small things like that. I mean, it's big for a speedrun, but small things like that. But additionally, they added another loading screen tooltip that basically hints at bonk hopping. Like it mentions if you do the right things when bonking into a wall, you can jump forever. So, yeah, or gets electrified except for a very specific spot. And phase. This laser phase is the phase where the instant death lane at the top is active.
The instant death lane is always active, actually.
No, I've been up there when the lasers weren't going on and it was fine.
If you go high enough, it also tends to be in the middle. If you go high enough, it will kill you. I'm not gonna show it.
Maybe I've been off the side. Since I've messed around with the death lane, because you kind of don't want to mess around with death. It's generally not a good idea.
Except when death warping or death abuse or...
I mean, that's not messing with it.
It's toying. You toy with death. Yeah, the host maybe have anything to say while this boss fight just chucks along.
Yes, I would like to let people know that we at Indiethon value your donations so much you can put them not to one thing, not to two things, but you get 3 things out of your donation. You can put your money towards a target, which is a goal-based telelocation Gemini upgrade. You can put it towards a poll, which is like the Worms Armageddon voice pack. And you can put it towards a reward, which is one of our donated by Chucklefish and Team 17.
Sounds all good.
Also, this boss fight, by the way, there's an achievement in this game for doing this boss fight damageless. I have run this game for a few years and still don't have that achievement.
I do. I actually do. I had to try for it. I had to actually try hard that achievement because this boss fight is annoying and sometimes even unfair.
Yeah, I mean your safest bet is just doing neutral bonk hops, which is bonk hops you do while not moving the stick. Yeah, they don't give you as much height, so you can just use neutral bonk hops to basically keep you on the same level, so you can hover above the lasers while staying very far away from the death plane. Also, one last thing I want to mention about the boss fight before we get into this final world here, is that the enemies that are spawned by bosses, they give you 1 health back for each enemy you defeat. And they always spawn them after a phase, so after you finish a phase, you can always regain your health and go into the next phase with full health.
Except during the final boss. Those ghosts do not give you health back.
No, instead you only get 1 HP back once you register a hit on the boss himself. That's the only healing you get in that fight.
Alright, so I'm gonna attempt frog skip. I'm not good at it. I've managed to hit it once in practice, so I'm sure I can do it.
Let's see.
Alright. Grab this little frog toy. We'll put it right around here. Swipe it. Swipe it again, and we failed. That's a shame. Alright, that
Yeah,
was my
you
one
wait.
attempt.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I'm
it
just
is
gonna go into
incredibly
Carnival
difficult. You have to, juggle. Yeah, you use it to jump over. You use the object jumping that we mentioned before with the big coins in right rollers. But yeah, you need to constantly juggle the frog ball thing, and and then also jump to keep going. So yeah, we're gonna be doing the normal route this time around. We only need 4 pages here.
And we
But
need
how
to
we're
do
gonna
2
do that is
levels.
we do 2 levels because if you don't do frog step, you have to. Also, we have Clive the Barker. Bonus points if you can guess what that's a reference to. But yeah, basically the route for this is gonna revolve around getting 2 pages here in Carnival Court, and then another 2 pages later on in Terror Train. In this one, we get the coin page and the main page, and then in Terror Train we get the main page and the secret page. Now to unlock
Yes.
the
The main
to
page
unlock
here is
the-
actually really interesting. This stage is really... I like it, actually. But
this is one of the more elaborate stages in the game.
yeah, since this is a carnival, we need to collect tickets to buy our prize. We need 3 tickets total. I was gonna grab some coins on the way. I'm just gonna play the 3 fastest games.
Yep. Well, there are faster games in categories of the game where you only get the main page here, such as NG plus all main levels, New Game plus all main levels, for example, which is where you just play through every main stage on a completed file. As like a sort of string of ILs, essentially. There's a different ticket route, but the route we do here is so we also get money for the coin page that we want to grab. But yeah, defeating all these enemies gives you a bunch of coins.
Gives us 3 small diamonds, which equals to 75. That one. Now we're gonna play a rigged game. Just gonna bunk up here to make the game no longer rigged, so we can actually hit the bell.
Yep. The Y spawns over there as well, but yeah, we don't
need the Y.
We are not concerned with it because we don't get the lucky page here. And now there's our final ticket.
Gonna do a little bit faster and just go through these tunnels because they have speed boosts.
Yep, I do a bit of an older route for these, and I take those speed paths twice because I do the ticket that you did last. I do that 1 second.
Ah, yeah. Well, I don't think it truly matters in the end. We do need to do both.
Yeah, exactly. It's not too. It doesn't matter too much. It's just the routing. It's the route that I learned.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
The
Back in the day
thing
when
about this stage, we can't alt out. If we do, we have to do the stage again. Because doing this stage opens up the next stage. This is the only hub world that would normally have a set route.
Yeah, there's another island where we tried to frog skip through earlier, which you can keep trying frog skip, by the way, if you're really dedicated or stubborn, whichever of the 2 you prefer. But it is really difficult, so your mileage might vary on how often you want to try it.
Yeah, I want to try it once
Trainer 2
for the marathon. If I was doing a PB attempt, I might try it twice or thrice more.
Yeah, exactly, because it skips a lot. Not only do you get to the island where the boss is, which, through normal means you get to it, how we're gonna go through it right now, which is by beating Terror Train, because that unlocks the train ride between the islands back and forth.
There's the hidden page,
And yeah, that's where the hidden page is. So it's nice and quick to grab, that's why we grab the hidden page here. And yeah, if you do frog skip, you just... Yeah, on the second island, you just do the auto runner and grab all 4 pages there, so you only do a single stage.
But this stage is already over. This stage is also rather fast. If we could
Yeah,
do this stage to get all 4...
really short. Terror Train is really short. Short enough that if we had free reign over the choices here, if we didn't have to do Carnival Court first, we probably would skip Carnival Court and get just 100% Terror Train. And now we get to see the other way you skip things. Instead of doing Frog Skip, we're gonna see what we call Huntingham Skip. Because it was the main skip that was first found. It was a long time before we found Frog Skip. So we have this stage, a Grave Awakening. We have this little like presentation thing around it. We're gonna climb on top of it.
The hitbox is higher than it looks.
Yeah, like skybox things. And then yeah, you dive onto this wall. Now here it's very important to not keep the stick forward as you bonk hop, because then Lucky is going to slide.
There we go. That's the level we
slide off
normally
instead,
do.
So you have to physically you physically have to let the wall knock you away after a bonk. In order to be allowed to bonk hop again. There's a little bit of inconsistency with normal bonk hopping where you just hold the stick towards the wall the entire time. So neutral bonk hopping, as we call it, is a little more common. And what we mean by neutral is that you bonk, you let the stick go neutral, and then you press it forward again in a certain rhythm. But on the Switch, we just held forward all the time and it would work 100% consistently. And then in this specific instance, this specific skip, we had to learn to not do that anymore.
I'm so glad you're here.
You actually
Well,
gain more
because
height
neutral
if you put the stick back to neutral. You actually get more height.
As well. So yeah, there's a bit of story happening. So this is Lyra, or fake Lyra. It's an apparition cooked up by Jinx. So this is Jinx. This is the cat himself.
This boss fight is annoying, because if we die on a boss fight, we have to start all the way over from the beginning. There are no checkpoints.
Shoutouts to my first ever run of this, where I died 8 times on this.
Oh, dear.
8 times on this fight. It was.
There's a little glitch
Yeah, it was
going
like
on right now.
this split was like 20 minutes or something. It was a bad time. Yeah, Lyra is Lyra is Lucky's sister, and she is a
Guardian.
a guardian. Yeah, a guardian, and yeah, basically Lyra was protecting the Book of Ages, and yeah, Lucky wasn't a guardian yet, but after this adventure, I think he's qualified to be one.
Post game actually addresses that. You have to go in post game. You makes you a guardian.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't played Foxington in the new game yet.
These ghosts
Yeah,
can
this
be
boss
a little
fight.
bit annoying.
This is so the boss fights from before are they were more or less the same. There were just slight differences and stuff like that. That weren't really worth mentioning. It was more or less the same fight as in the original, but this fight is significantly different.
Also significantly more difficult.
Yeah, because you want to home in on the ghost, and homing in on the ghost is the hardest part, really.
Yeah, and also the bullet hell that happens at the beginning of third phase. Or they aren't bullets, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. So yeah, you see the phases here. The shockwaves, then come eye lasers, then the stage gets thrown around, more shockwaves, more throwing the stage around, more eye lasers. Then he will put it back together. It will choose a random formation to change the elevation of the stage, these stage walks. And yeah, the shockwaves also get more plentiful as the fight goes on. And then the spooky ghosts come out again, one by one. And once you've defeated all spooky ghosts, that's when Jinx comes out and you can actually register hits on him.
depth perception in this stage is not very good.
Also, he waits here. This chain 3 hits on Jinx as well. This was phase 2. Where Jinx will spawn a shockwave every time he gets hit. But yeah, if you chain the 3 hits together like that, then you... But yeah, now things get mixed up. He changes the elevation first.
And then we get eye lasers.
And get eye lasers during this.
Now we're gonna
now
get
you
ghosts. Well,
Ghosts?
Well, we get shockwaves.
Yeah, this is the final phase, so get ready on time, by the way.
Time is when we enter the Book of Ages at the right after we.
Yeah, so that's Spooky goes along with eye lasers now. Once the here now, along with shockwaves, he's also gonna split up, and you have to kill every every clone as well. You have to kill every instance of him. And that's when he's defeated. Once he's defeated, there's like a little bit of movement you have to do to go from where you spawn into the Book of Ages. So specifically when you lose control is when time is. Yeah, that's Jinx defeated.
It comes up in like 10 seconds. It's after this cutscene. I played it a little bit safe there. And,
do a little slide for the time save.
Yeah, the 2 frames time save.
Exactly.
Time.
Yeah, that is time.
Well, that was new super lucky still for you guys. And with that, I declare this marathon opened or something. I don't know. I had the honor of being the first runner.
Thank you for being the first runner. Do you want to know what time you got?
I do want to know my real time. I got my in-game time right here on screen.
Yeah, real time was 54:31.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
In-game time was a 53:46. That actually is a PB for me. Ha.
Hey,
but
TV
that's
on screen.
but remember, I don't know if you counted the 246.
I did not. I don't care.
All right, we'll carry on. Yeah, leave the mods to worry about retiming that. So yeah. At the start of the run, because we skipped the cutscene, add 246.90 to your time. But yeah, we can take solace in the PB.
Well, yeah. Shoutouts to Indiethon for letting me open their marathon. That was actually pretty crazy. Yeah, shout out to Double for joining me here. This was supposed to be a race, but someone chickens out.
I believe his words were,
Didn't let
I
it go,
don't
could you?
want to get my book.
Didn't let me have this one.
Nope.
Don't worry. I'm running good job later on Sunday. I'll make up for it.
You better. But yeah, that's it from me.
You better watch then.
What time?
Exclamation point schedule.
It is 4:54 p.m. tomorrow.
4:54. I should be awake by then. Alright, everyone. Thank you for watching. And enjoy the rest of the marathon. Keep those donations coming. And I'll see you guys in chat.
I also want to say thank you to all the people who have joined us from speedrun.com. We are currently on the front page.
Oh!
You are watching Indiethon. We are a brand new tri-annual charity event showcasing all types of indie games, bringing you runs from games you may have not heard of before to help Child's Play support their network of hospitals and domestic violence shelters as a place where children can feel safe, play games and get better.
Yeah,
We are going to go
I'm gonna give a quick shout out to myself. If you wanna shout out to me, if you wanna see more of me, twitch.tv/YourEverydaySpeedrunner, or type it in anywhere and you'll find me eventually. I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Last thing I want to say before we go is that this is a solid game. It's a really solid casual as well, so I highly recommend you playing it, regardless of whether you want to speedrun it or not. And speaking of speedrun.com, speedrun.com/NSLT is where you can find this game. We also have a category extensions page with a bunch of meme categories for you to toy around with, as well as many other main categories to have fun with alongside any percent. We have all main stages, there's all pages, there's 100% as well. So a variety of ways you can run this game as well, and yeah, and on the speedrun.com page you can also find the Discord link, as is tradition. So yeah, feel free to join the Discord as well. We love hanging out with people, and yeah, that's it for me.
And that's it
Well,
for
over
me.
to
So
you,
let's
Panda,
throw
to
it back
guide us
to
out.
let's throw it back over to the hosts and the next runner.
We are going to take a brief intermission and we'll be back soon with A Leckhead by Dan the VP.